Hi, and welcome to Belonger Yoga. I'm Carrie, and today's practice we're going to be focusing on our hips. Today we're going to be loosening them up, trying to release some of that tension, work on a little mobility there. So go ahead and find yourself in a nice, comfortable seated position on your mat, nice cross-legged position. And to start with, let's just take a few deep breaths in and out. I love to start my practice this way. Help us just let go of whatever's out there today and focus on being on the mat for the next little bit of time. So close your eyes and go ahead and inhale in through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. One more time, deep inhale through the nose. This time, let's give a big exhale out the mouth. Now open your eyes. Nice little way to get us into the moment. So let's start focusing on our hips now. Bring your feet out in front of you a little bit. We're going to come into a butterfly style pose, your feet together. Bring those feet in a little bit closer, and we're going to wrap our hands around our feet. Now make sure your sits bones are very nice and firm on the mat. Go ahead and inhale and really get some extension in your spine. And now gently fold forward. We're not rounding the back, we're just gently folding forward, starting to move into that hip area. And breathe here for a moment. And let's bring it back up and extend those feet a little bit further out in front of you. Wrap your hands around those feet again and make sure that you're nice and long in the spine. And on a nice inhale, let's fold forward, coming out of the hip area, not rounding through the back. And as we move our feet forward, you're going to notice you're not going as deep, and that's okay. Our point is not to get our head down to our toes. It's really just to start focusing on that area that we're working today, which is our hips. And inhale it back up. And let's bring our feet out a little bit more forward. I'm going to move my bottom back a little bit here. And this time, you can wrap your hands around the feet, or you can wrap them under your ankles. Okay, so we're getting a little bit deeper into these hips. And inhale, let's get that extension and lengthen our spine. And exhale, we're going to fold forward. And this time we're going to fold forward and stay, and we can start to slowly round that back just a little bit, just until we're starting to feel it in our hips. We don't want to go too deep into the back. We're really focusing on the hips today, which actually they're interconnected. So if you have back problems, you probably have hip problems, because I know I do. And let's stay here for a few breaths, allowing that breath to ease into your body. And one more breath, one more time. And unwrap those hands, walk your body back up, and place your feet on the floor, on the mat. And we're going to do some windshield wipers. You can have your hands behind you if you like. This really makes it comfortable. And we're going to just gently, not in a hurry, drop the knees over to one side and then over to the other. And keep doing this back and forth, windshield wipering these legs. Pausing if you find something that's a little, interesting. Maybe something's a little sticky. Breathing into that space. And let's go ahead and drop our knees over to the left side. And we're going to come into deer pose, or sometimes it's referred to as 90-90. And that's because our legs are in a 90-degree position. So you want your front leg roughly parallel, your thigh parallel, and your back leg going straight back. If this gets too uncomfortable, bring that back leg in a little bit more because this does get deep into our hips, okay? And you're going to be mostly up on your left buttocks there. So go ahead and place your hands on the mat and give yourself a nice inhale and extend up. And fold forward over that left knee, gently walking yourself out. If you need to, you can always have blocks or a prop to prop yourself up on, or come up onto your hands. Only go as deep as comfortable for you today. And we're going to hold it here for a few breaths. Try to release the grip you have on your back leg. And inhale and exhale. Allow your body to feel that breath. And as you breathe, if you need, you can always come down a little bit more as your body starts to release. Maybe you can place your head all the way on the mat. Try to release the grip of that back leg, that back hip. Gently walk yourself back up. And we're going to slowly twist towards the back thigh over here, your left side. We're going to do a nice twist over to the left. And we're going to inhale that up and exhale, walk your hands out and gently fold over your left thigh. Stay here for a few breaths. If you're feeling any of that stickiness or stuckness, go ahead and use that breath. That breath goes down into that space. One more time. One more breath. And gently walk yourself back up. Come back around towards the front. Place your feet back on the floor like we were before. And let's go ahead and do those windshield wipers again. Nice and slow. Your feet out wide. Drop them over to one side, your knees. Drop the knees over to the other. Really gentle. And this time, let's drop them all the way over to the right side. Again, coming into that deer posture, that 90-90 position that we call it. I gotta get myself situated. It always takes a minute. And place your hands down on the mat and inhale up, getting some length and extension. Your crown of your head coming forward, or coming up, not forward. And exhale, let's gently walk our hands out over our right foot, our right shin. And you might notice your back hip and your back legs start to clench up as you're trying to hold on to it. So breathe into that space, breathe into the hips, allow it to let go. Using that breath, the inhale to give yourself more space in that area, and the exhale to release it. Maybe you come down a little bit further on the mat. Maybe your head comes all the way down on this next one. Again, not clenching, not holding on to it. If this gets too much, come up out of it. One last breath here. And walk yourself back up. And go ahead and inhale back to get that extension in the spine. A little awkward with your hips the way they are, but it works. And we're going to exhale over to the right side. And we're going to gently walk ourselves into a folded twist here in our deer posture. Again, trying not to clench and get all of that tightness into the back hip, into that left hip, but inhaling into that space. And on the exhale, allowing it to release. Maybe you can walk your hands out a little further. Or maybe your head comes down towards the mat and meets your hands. And one more breath. One inhale in. And exhaling it out. And gently make your way back into a front-facing seated position. Let's go ahead and do those windshield wipers again, just really trying to release out those hips. There we go. And go ahead and make your way onto your back. So from here, let's go ahead and bring our knees into our chest, hug them in, maybe rock back and forth. Give yourself a little bit of a low back massage. Our hips and our back, very connected. And drop your left foot to the mat and cross your right ankle over the left knee. Coming into this figure 4 position. And bring your hand onto your right thigh and gently, gently, gently push it away. If you'd like, you can flex that right foot. It's not necessary, but it feels good sometimes. And we're going to hold here for just a breath. Now, if this is comfortable, stay here, or bring that left knee up and wrap your hands either behind that left thigh, maybe on top of that left shin, and bring the legs in a little bit closer towards your chest. Keep in mind, you would like to have your hips, the back side of your body here on the mat. So not rolling it up. You're really trying to keep it on the mat. And if you need to or like to, you can always gently push that right thigh away from you to give it a little bit deeper stretch into those hips. I'm going to go ahead and just wrap my hands around my shin, bring them in, making sure my hips, the back side of my body, is on the mat. And let's hold this for a few breaths. Again, breathing into that tension, bringing in some space, allowing that to release. And drop that left foot back to the mat. And we are going to, with our legs in the same configuration, we're going to adjust our hips over to the right slightly, and then we're going to drop the legs all the way over to the left. And we're going to extend our right arm out from our body. And you can have your left hand on your thigh, out as well, whatever's comfortable. And gently look out over your right arm, and let's give ourselves a little bit of a twist here. Let's hold this for just a few breaths. And let's go ahead and bring those legs back up. Keep them into the same configuration, this figure 4, and walk that left foot out just a smidge. And we are going to drop the legs over to the right side for what we would call twisted root. This one's a little deeper than the other side. But so we're just going to hold it for a few breaths. Your left arm out from your body. Your right hand can be wherever is comfortable. And look out over towards your left arm if it's comfortable, and a couple of breaths. And gently bring those legs back up. Let's go ahead and place both feet flat on the mat. And let's bring our legs in for a nice hug. Maybe rocking back and forth a little bit. There we go. And let's do that on the other side. So we're going to drop the right foot down to the mat, cross that left ankle over the right knee, and we're going to gently push that right thigh a little bit, or the left thigh out just a little bit, not too deep, just enough to start to feel it in the hips. Now, if this is comfortable, stay here, or go ahead and bring the right knee up towards your chest. And again, bringing your hands behind your thigh, maybe behind your shins or on top of your shins. And bringing the knees a little bit forward, but at the same time, keeping the back of the hips right there, the back of your pelvis on the mat. And hold this for a few breaths. This is always my sticky side, so I gotta breathe into this one. Again, using that breath. The breath is there. It helps us to expand and release. And put that right foot back on the mat. Let's adjust our hips over to the left and drop the legs in that configuration over towards the right. Extend that left arm out from the body. Look out over the left hand if you'd like. That right hand could be on your thigh to help that twist just a little bit. And let's hold here for a few breaths. Bring those legs back up through center, same configuration. Walk that right foot out just a little bit towards the edge of the mat and drop the legs with your left ankle being right there on your right thigh down over to the left, and extend that right arm out and look out over your right arm. And we're going to hold this twisted root, this twist on this side, for just a few breaths. And gently bring those legs back up through center. Drop the feet on the mat. Let's go ahead and bring those knees in for one final hug. There we go. Raise those heels up to the sky and spread those knees out a little bit. Let's come into a happy baby. Happy baby is so good. I love happy baby. And if you'd like, you can just bring those knees a little bit closer into your armpits. Help your arms and your hands can help bring those knees a little bit in. Maybe you want it a little more loose and relaxed. Maybe rock your happy baby. And don't forget, babies are always happy. I have several grandbabies, so they're always laughing and smiling. So don't forget to do that. And come into some stillness. Drop those knees or those feet back down to the mat. And let's sit here for just one breath. And roll over onto your side and come up into a seated position. There we go. Come into a nice, comfortable seated position, just like we started this practice. So here was your hip mobility, your hip release to hopefully soothe and calm and bring and breathe some space into those hips today. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, to like and subscribe to my channel. Feel free to share it with somebody who you feel might benefit from this. And we'll see you next time.